Welcome back to Affirmations. Thank you all for joining me again. I want to thank my subscribers as well as some new subscribers I see that I got. I really appreciate it. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe so my YouTube channel can grow and hit the notification bell so you know when I post. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping everyone had a great week. Okay. And again, you know our saying, if it wasn't a good week, what's one thing you can do to make it better? Also, too, let's see, it's windy out here today. If y'all can hear that wind blow, let me give some silence. Yes, windy out here today. Hopefully, you all have been staying warm. Okay. You see, I'm trying to do my Palo Santo. All right, a little bit giving me a hard time. Okay, so for those of you that are new, we always start off with our saying, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? I'm hoping it's fresh. Always wanting to mind what we speak, as well as the self-talk that we do with ourselves, as well as what we speak about others. It is normal to discuss things as long as it's not done with malicious intent, nor no, you're not lying on someone. Okay, the concept of reap what you sow. Okay, so we want to be kind. Okay, so let's see. For those of you that are new, each week we pull from the self therapy card deck for for the purpose of the healing of our people, the descendants of the slaves. Normally, I use these with clients who have reached therapy goals, but we're using it for the purpose of our people. Okay, wanting to continue to heal from a lot of the trauma that we've kind of gone through during slavery. Okay, let's see. Also, too, encouraging everyone to get the book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, America's Legacy and Enduring Injury and Healing by Dr. Joy DeGury. Okay. Important book. We've heard of post-traumatic stress disorder, but never post-traumatic slave syndrome. Really breaks down how we're still being affected today. Okay. So, with that, for those of you that are new, I will pull the stones. Let's see if I can find my little bag, because I figured out sometimes we end up getting the same dicks, which is, we don't think is an accident. But anyway, I'm going to drop these into the bag. Okay. And we're going to see which one we get so we'll know which deck we're talking from today. Okay. Okay. So let's see. What are we going to get? Okay. We got the amethyst stone today. Okay. And that is our mental health deck. Okay, we hadn't gotten that one in a while. Let's see what it's asking us about mental health. And again, every time we are looking at these things, we are connected it to slavery. There's not a mental health issue that we're looking at today that does not stem from trauma that our people have gone through during slavery. Okay, so let's see what we're going to get today and see what they're talking about in regards to mental health. Let's see. Okay, if nothing pops out, I'll split down the middle. That's what I'll do, and I'm going to pick one to the left. Okay, let's see what this is talking about today. What people, situations, or events cause me to feel sad or depressed? Who do I blame the most for my problems? Do I tend to act like a victim a lot? How can such behavior prevent me from moving forward? Okay, this is a good one. Interesting. What people, situations, or events cause me to feel sad or depressed? very important for us to be aware of that. It's funny, sometimes we can be on autopilot going through life feeling confused or sad or depressed and not really knowing why. And it does require us to slow down. And again, I'm always encouraging us to get our journals out. And it's amazing in rambling and just kind of jotting down your thoughts in a journal what you come up with. And sometimes you're surprised at what's the root cause of your sadness and your depression. Some of us know what the root cause of our sadness and depression is. Okay, so that's 50% of the battle. But a lot of times, especially if it's ongoing sadness and depression, and sometimes even if you feel like something's been resolved, and you're just kind of going through life, but you're still having this feeling, and it's possible that you have not resolved that issue. Okay. And so, yeah, it does require us to kind of really sit with ourselves and kind of think about it. If we don't know, journaling will help us kind of identify that. If we do know, then the journaling needs to be about, you know, if this is the cause, if this thing is the cause, if this situation, people, or event is the cause of my depression, what is going on that I'm not addressing it? What is my fear? Okay. And if I had the courage, what would I do about it? Even if you're not going to do that thing, it's good to know what you would do if you had the courage. Okay. The next one, who do I blame the most for my problems? Right. And it's interesting. It was an affirmation card we had which says, I cannot blame others for my problems or feelings. But what's interesting is sometimes people are the cause of a problem or the cause of a feeling. However, we can't give people the power and control to keep us stuck in that feeling. Okay. So if you're blaming someone, I look at sometimes, in general, that's a normal thing people do. We can blame our parents for things, right? Or different people in the family that raised us, or things didn't go quite right. And that's normal. And it's healthy to be able to identify problems, okay, and blame, but to get stuck there and not saying, okay, what do I need in order to heal? Because again, one of the things we always talk about, for every negative, there's a positive. Okay. So that was a negative situation. Was it anything positive that came out of it? Or even if it's something simple as, what did I learn from this? And how has it contributed to me in a positive way today? Or even in a negative way? Okay, because that's powerful. It allows us to be able to know what we need to do to heal. So we have to ask ourselves, what is it that I need to do to heal? Do I tend to act like a victim a lot? Yeah, that's a tricky one. Everyone has different personalities, right? Some people are more sensitive, okay? And again, it is tricky. We're trying not to judge ourselves harshly or others, okay? Yeah, do you tend to act like a victim a lot? And let's see, how would you know if you're acting like a victim? Here's the tricky thing. Sometimes you're truly a victim, and here's the complicated things, and sometimes you're not. Sometimes you could be the one that is harming someone else, and they're the victim, but you are projecting, you're flipping things around and blaming them. They call that gaslighting, where you're making someone think that they're the problem when really you're the cause. Okay, so do you tend to do that a lot? Flip it around, where you're not the victim, but someone that you have victimized or harmed, you flip it around and make them think that, oh, no, that was you. And some people, depending on, again, our people have been very traumatized, will believe that. And that can cause them mental harm. Okay, so do you tend to act like a victim a lot? Or do you tend to flip it on people that you have made a victim and gaslight them and make them think that they've done something? Okay. And so if you're acting like a victim a lot, one of the things you want to look at, again, for every negative, there's a positive. So I am a victim. This person is harming me in some kind of way. The question is, what is it? If you had courage, what is it that you would do? Or what can I study about this situation that for next time I'm able to respond in a healthier way or be able to set boundaries? Okay. The next one, how can such behavior prevent me from moving forward? Right? We know these things can hold us back from moving forward. I hear people talk all the time about, this is, this happened, these people did this to me, or because of, certain opportunities I wasn't allowed as a child. So therefore, I'm not able to do A, B, C, and D and follow my dream. So if we stay stuck in that, it will prevent us from moving forward and reaching for our goals and dreams or even healing. Okay. So that is an excellent one. Okay. So let's get our journals. Okay. So now I'm going to pull another stone to see which deck we're going to speak from. Let's see. Okay. So we've got the Howlite stone today. Okay. And that one right there is assigned to health and diet. Okay. And health and diet, guys, those of you who are new, we kept getting the same card, one about detoxing. We're going to see if we get it again. And finally, I had said that, okay, the way I'm going to detox, I'm going to fast. And finally, guys, I on the previous video, I was sick from eating sugar cookies and had a sinus kind of cold. And I did a 24-hour fast. And when I tell you, fasting is powerful. When I tell you, it amazingly not only cleared up the cold, but it literally took the craving away. I was kind of enjoying the sugar fix too much. And also, too, I noticed that I was calmer after the 24-hour phase. After the 24-hour fast, I was a lot calmer. So again, something to consider, maybe even once a month, doing a 24-hour fast just to help decrease cravings and kind of help you feel more calm and less anxious. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we're going to get today. Okay, nothing wants to pop out. I'm going to split down the middle. Pick the one to the left. Let's see what we got. Okay, here we go. This is a good one, right? Do I have any addictions? Cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, pornography, technology, vaping? Are any of these addictions harmful for me? Or do I have everything under control? Okay, this is a powerful one. When you look at, I'm going to connect everything to slavery. When you look at the what has happened to us in slavery, and again, how does things play out today to cope with a lot of the abuses that we have not healed from, that we continue to do to each other, we will turn to addictions, right? To escape: cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, pornography, technology, vaping. A lot of these things are introduced normally through peer pressure. Okay, for the most part, everyone, any of you, kind of dealing with these particular addictions, think back to, was it peer pressure? And definitely not judging. I will say, my dad always said this: you never know quite what you do. If you're put in certain situations. And I will say, when you start talking about peer pressure, you can be very strong and not giving the peer pressure, but let it be someone that you really look up to and that you really love. Those people have the most influence on you and also have the biggest potential to be able to influence you. A lot of times, the people that we admire, that introduce us to things, right? And so, that's one of the things. Also, too, again, because of slavery and I've seen this happen where people have learned to escape through certain things, and they see someone who looks like they're doing just fine, and because they feel shame, okay, or because they feel they may be maybe even a little jealous that someone seems to be doing okay. And so they will introduce them to some of these things because they don't want to be the only one, right? They have a lot of shame and guilt about it. Okay. So I need, you know, I'm not saying misery loves company, but it's kind of under that umbrella, right? So you know we're having fun, and again, all these things, you know, the common thing about them is disguised under fun, right? This is how we have a good time, but everything requires balance. Okay, when we start looking at pornography, I look at the world we live in with music, movie. Basically, everything is either pornography or soft porn at this point. Constant programming, right? Even if you're not looking at hardcore pornography, it is everywhere. Okay, and so in a lot of these things too, when I look at especially when we start talking about pornography and, you know, sex and how all this kind of goes into play, you know, again, we were exploited sexually. We were sex slaves. We were bred, right? So we were the original sex slaves. We also, even with other cultures, are sex objects. A lot of we are the object of a lot of other cultures' fantasies, and so you know, that's another thing. And so a lot of times then we turn around and sexualize each other. You know, when I started looking, there was this video I saw, and I was like, what is this? Talking about the, sex trafficking. And I was like, well, it's like a regular American, you know, African American female. And so this lady gets on there. She was a 16-year-old girl, you know, grew up in a household. Dad was in the military, was very abusive. Brother left for college, and so it was very abusive, and she was trying to protect her mother. So anyway, she ends up leaving. Again, here she is on the street. Someone takes her in. She gets a feeling something's off. You know, she leaves that place, goes to another place. Someone seems very nice. She goes, you know, with this particular male, again, needing food, again, someone needing help, you know, again, then we turn into the people that's like the master, right? We turn into master. When our people in need, we exploit them, right? So then he takes her to these particular guys, who's a producer. You know, these are known producers, she says, so she didn't want to give names. And she talked about how they asked her a question saying, you're going to be down for us, right? And she was like, yeah. She didn't know quite what that meant. And they proceeded to gang rape her, okay? And so basically she was there for their enjoyment. So she took her 2 weeks to heal. And so basically, you know, she smiles, she'll be available at the parties. So a lot of these strippers and people end up in the sex industry. A lot of times they're introduced to this lifestyle. That is America's sex trafficking with our African-American females, as well as a lot of times with our males as well. You know, we'll see, you know, a lot of our homosexual, bisexual teenagers kind of turned out and being used and exploited as well. Okay. But there's no form of, especially when we start talking about sexual, that cannot be traced back to slavery. They introduced us to quite a bit. Okay. But yeah, so we need to think about, do you have addictions? Okay. And the question is, do you even want to get help for that? And another thing too, this is the thing I always look at, you know, there's balance. Everyone has to go on their life journey and they're here for different reasons, but you have to ask yourself, I love the scripture, you'll know a thing by its fruits. When you do this thing, is the result of it feeling at peace, where you're not depressed, or are you left with negative feelings? See, that's how you know if something is not good for you, okay? And so that's something, you know, that would make sense that we will be struggling with these things. So do, you know, not be so judgmental on yourself or hard on yourself or others, but do think about, do you want to tackle some of these addictions? And then if you do, the people, when we talk about the people that you look up to, those are the people who normally you're doing this with. Are you going to be able to set boundaries with them and cut them off? It's so complicated, okay? So, you know, you all, you know, take care of yourselves out there, and, you know, it's just time to do some soul searching, okay? All right. Okay. So with that, I'm going to pull one affirmation card, okay? And then we're going to end it. And again, I really do appreciate you all spending this time with me, you know. I really look forward to it. I don't take it for granted. Let's see what this is. What does this say? Listen to the whispers inside my heart. Mm, yeah, we normally don't listen to our heart, right? A lot of times, sometimes it is important to be practical. But when dealing with issues of intimacy and love and caring, uh, we might struggle with that, listening to the whispers inside our heart. And a lot of times it has to do with the things that we really love and care for. Allowing us, giving ourselves permission to either pursue those things or have empathy or be more caring. Okay. So, again, thank you all for being with me. Do like, share, and subscribe. And I want you all to have a great week. And again, thank you so much. Bye. Until next time.